Hello guys and welcome to Opinion Cricket. It's here. This is the follow-up video to our previous video regarding the T20 World Cup. As I promised in the last video, this will be all about the teams taking part and what I think their chances of doing well and maybe winning the tournament are. As we don't know yet at the time of this video who the last 4 teams in the Super 12 are, I'm just going to cover the 8 teams that have already made it into the second part of the tournament. Okay, with that said, let's get into it. I'm going to start off alphabetically, so the first team is Afghanistan. At first glance, I think this Afghanistan team is okay. They've certainly got some talented players, with Rashid Khan, obviously their standout world-class player. On the whole though, I think this team's chances of winning the tournament are slim to say the least. Okay, don't get me wrong, they are definitely not the whipping boys they were a few years ago, and with Rashid Khan in the side, they are definitely capable of causing an upset against some of the stronger nations, but I just can't see them going any further than the group stages. Next up, we have Australia. Now, I've actually got Australia down as one of the favourites for the tournament. With them playing at home on familiar pitches, I think their fast bowlers like Cummins and Hazelwood will get a lot out of the conditions, the pitches, and maybe use their physical attributes to bang the ball in hard, maybe make the most of the pace and bounce. On to Australia's top order, where it looks pretty solid. I think most people would expect probably Warner and Finch to open the batting. What I think is key to Australia's chances is their middle order. If the likes of Glenn Maxwell and Marcus Stoinis, if they go with him, can come good in those mid to late overs and stay consistent, then I think Australia will have a good chance of doing well for sure. Players like Wade and Steve Smith are obviously good solid players, so they've got a strong team. Right, moving on to the next team, we have Bangladesh. At first glance, Bangladesh don't have a bad side. Despite not winning many matches against some of the higher ranked teams, they always seem to give a good account of themselves. Plenty of fighting spirit. Shakib Al Hassan is the best T20 all-rounder in international cricket right now and is currently ranked number 1 in the ICC rankings. So yeah, a player like that can obviously make the difference in a tight game. Overall, I expect Bangladesh to be competitive, but I just can't see them making it into the semi-finals. I think there's just too many stronger teams out there. But that said, they'll give it a good go. Next up, we have England. Mighty, mighty England. Okay, so I'm going to start with the bad news first. Jonny Bairstow is out of the T20 World Cup with injury. Well, out of cricket altogether really, which is a massive blow for England in my opinion. My dream of Bairstow and Buttler opening the innings and smashing it to all parts have been dashed. But that said, England still have a powerful batting lineup. I expect Buttler to open, maybe with Alex Hales as a direct replacement for Jonny Bairstow. I expect Dawid Malan, Liam Livingstone, Moeen Ali to be part of the starting 11 in the batting order. But with a lot of strength in depth, it will be interesting to see who gets in the team. I think England's bowling attack doesn't look too bad. If Mark Wood can stay fit, I think that is a big plus for England, as other bowlers like Sam Curran and Dave Willey lack that genuine 90-mile-an-hour plus pace, which I think is vital in Australia. Overall, I do have England down as one of the favourites, but I just hope we're not over-reliant on Buttler to deliver. We saw it with Rajasthan in the IPL, where if Buttler failed to get going, Rajasthan often struggled. Overall though, I think England will have enough to make it out of the group stages, and it will probably take a strong team to stop them. Speaking of strong teams, next up is India. Now, India are probably the favourites to win the tournament in my opinion. The strength in depth is brilliant. They could almost make 2 world-class teams with the amount of talent they have. They seem well balanced. Obviously, players like Kohli, Pant, Bumrah and Jadeja are almost auto-includes in the starting 11. Who will they open with? Well, if it was up to me, I'd probably go with KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma, followed by Kohli, then Pant making up the top 4. Now, I'm a big fan of Rishabh Pant. I hope India don't play him too far down the order, as I think he needs to face as many balls as possible. Along with Liam Livingstone and probably David Miller, I think Pant is probably the most destructive middle order player in T20 cricket right now. Now onto the bowling attack. I expect Jasprit Bumrah and Bhuvaneshwar Kumar will make the first 11, but India have a lot of options to go with, which is a nice problem to have I suppose. Spin is where it gets interesting with players like Ashwin, Axar Patel, Kuldeep and Chahal all being top class options. If it was up to me, I'd probably go with Ashwin or Axar Patel for the starting 11. Overall though, I believe India are the favourites to win this tournament. They have great strength in depth and seem to have a world class player in every position. Lucky them. Okay, on to the next team, and that is New Zealand. Now, New Zealand always seem to punch above their weight and do better as a team than they should probably do. They have some good players who are underrated in my opinion. Obviously, they have a few world-class T20 players, such as Williamson, Saifi and Bolt, but on paper they just don't seem to have that star power like a lot of other teams. But take nothing away from the Kiwis, they seem to have that underdog spirit which gels them as a team. Players like Conway, Latham and Neesham all have a lot of international experience. Bolt and Saifi opening the bowling have been as good as anyone in recent times. However, I think New Zealand may struggle this time around. Now, don't get me wrong, I'll never write off New Zealand, as they always seem to do better than I expect, but I think they will struggle to get out the group stages with the quality of teams around them. Right, next up is Pakistan. Like all Pakistan teams, this one is full of talent. Babar Azam and Mohammad Wiswan are just class. They are both in the top 10 T20 batsmen in the world right now, with Wiswan actually at the number 1 spot. I think Kushdal Shah and Haider Ali may make it into the middle order, but they have a number of good players who could make that first team, so it'll be interesting. Onto the bowling, Pakistan look good in this department. I've been impressed with their spin bowlers on recent games. They have managed to defend totals really well, and with players like Usman Quadir and Mohammad Wiswan being brilliant at this. The fast bowling is looking good. Shaheen Afridi, Naseem Shah, Haris Raf and Mohammad Hasnain, all very good options. Overall, I think Pakistan are a strong team. I think they may have one of the strongest bowling attacks in the competition. The only weakness I see with Pakistan is that they may be over-reliant on Babar and Wiswan at the top of the order. With the standard of bowling attacks in the tournament, it will be interesting to see how they get on. Now, Pakistan are in the harder of the two groups in my opinion, but I do expect them to get out of it and make it to the semi-finals. And finally, on to South Africa. Now I'm going to start with the bowlers here. I think the South African bowlers are going to be a handful over there in Australia. Kagiso Rabada and Anrich Nortje bowl with genuine pace, and I think the pitches will help them. I'm personally looking forward to watching Nortje bowl. I'd really like to see him crank up that pace and bowl aggressively. He may be expensive sometimes and go for a few runs, but he is an X-factor player without a doubt. Bavuma and Quinton de Kock I expect will open the batting. Obviously they are both well experienced players. I expect maybe Hendricks and Maharaj to be in the middle order somewhere, alongside the big hit in David Miller. Now we know what Miller is capable of, and he's been in good form recently. 10 overs of David Miller going well, and South Africa will probably win the game. Overall though, I think that South Africa will be battling out for second place with New Zealand and Pakistan to try and make it to the semi-finals. But we'll have to wait and see. Okay, so that just about wraps it up for this brief overview of the teams and what I think their chances are. But this is opinion cricket, so I want to hear what you guys think. Which teams do you guys think will do well and possibly win the tournament? Who will be the players that stand out? Please comment below and like the video if you enjoyed it. More to come soon, and thanks for watching.